While South Carolina is trying to implicate the Fight Act in all its dog fighting cases across the country, another man has been arrested from an animal shelter from abusing the dogs in the animal shelter. You know, we send these dogs to the animal shelter and they put these dogs in the animal shelter and they supposed to be being taken care of, you know. But you have the employees abusing the animals. So we're gonna get into that, and then we're gonna talk about an update from the South Carolina dog fighting situation, the sled investigations, and all that type of stuff. We got an update on what they talking about with this the Fight Act, you know. So we're gonna get into that and talk about that as well. And I want to send a big shout out to everybody down in the chat, everybody that's listening. We Saturday Night Live tomorrow. That's actually what I'm doing this video for, to promote my Saturday Night Live. We ain't talking about no bootleg Saturday Night Live like y'all maybe been seeing over the past several weeks. We talking about Saturday Night Live, the way it's going down. PBK9s giving it to you from the PBC. So we're gonna get into first is this animal cruelty situation from the animal shelter. You know, we get that time to time. Animal shelter, animal cruelty, employees. So we're gonna get into that, and then we're gonna get into this update on the South Carolina dog fighting laws. Let's go.
An Ellisville man is now behind bars after police say he was caught on camera abusing multiple animals at the Laurel Jones County Animal Rescue League. We are not able to show you the video because of the ongoing investigation. Our Kendra Malloy has the details of what led up to the arrest.
You should not have to worry about somebody that was supposed to take care of them hurting them.
Jennifer Sumrall, along with the rest of the Laurel Jones County Animal Rescue League, are in disbelief and heartbroken after the recent events of abuse to their animals.
We were informed by one of our shelter manager that she had reviewed some footage and that it was saying it had been happening on Sundays and Mondays when she wasn't here and the other employees weren't around.
26-year-old Austin Berry is accused of abusing 5 dogs at the shelter. Deputies made the arrest last Thursday. Sergeant Macon Davis says the video found the employees stomping and kicking the animals.
They began to notice that when they would bring potential adopters in, the animals were very, very skittish. They would, kind of cower or go to the back of the kennels where they were normally exuberant.
Berry was charged with aggravated cruelty of animals, and his bond was set at $15,000. And as far as the motive,
we do not know what caused that as of yet.
Meanwhile, Sumrall says all the animals involved are getting proper care and being looked at by vets.
As far as I personally know, there's some bruising to some of the animals. We do have one that is not handling what happened very well. But with time and patience, she should be okay too.
The shelter says they are going through proper procedures to make sure this never happens again. In Laurel,
our animals need prayers right now.
Kendra Malloy, WDAM7 on your side.
The shelter is asking for continued prayers at this time. And if you'd like to help or donate, visit Laurel Jones County Animal Rescue League on Facebook.
We say that all too many times where they take the dogs from one situation to a worse situation. And that article you just saw or that video you just saw is an example of that, where they saying, oh, we taking the dogs, we want them to be taken care of better. We want them to be, they're not supposed to be like this. They need food, they need water. And then you take them to this shelter and they're being abused there. So the dog is in a lose-lose situation, But that's needless to say. I'm not about to sit here and argue about it. South Carolina dog fighting laws. You know where you got it from first. It's your boy PBK9s giving it to you the way I always give it to you. Don't forget the Saturday Night Live tomorrow night, Saturday before the Super Bowl. We're going live. Anybody that want to come up, open panel, talk about your dogs, ask questions, talk about whatever you want to talk about, when it comes to these animals or dogs or pets. Tomorrow night, Saturday, probably, most likely, 8 p.m. Eastern. So without further ado, let's get into these South Carolina laws. It's your boy PBK9s. I always give it to you fair and uncut, raw and unbiased. Breaking news from the CNN satellites out of space.
In South Carolina, there's a dog fighting law called the Fight Act that targets dog fighting as advocates urge public action. Some lawmakers and animal advocates are pushing for stricter punishments around dog fighting. not only across the nation, but here in South Carolina. Dogfighting cases often involve other serious crimes, leading parties on both sides of the aisle to crack down on the issue. The FIGHT Act is now waiting for action after it was introduced in Congress in early 2025. It would strengthen existing national law to crack down on what the president of Animal Wellness Action calls barbaric activities. Dogfighting is an issue the Palmetto State has been dealing with for years. Animal Wellness Action and the Center for a Humane Economy applauded South Carolina law enforcement officers for arresting a Chester County man in connection with an organized dogfighting ring on January 9th. It's so clear to me that animal fighting is bound up with other crimes. If we don't arrest them when they're engaging in malicious animal cruelty, we're going to see their crimes spill over into our communities, Pacelle said. Animal Wellness Action is a national anti-cruelty organization working to pass laws to forbid mistreatment of animals and to see that the laws on the books are enforced. Pacelle said the FIGHT Act has bipartisan support, and next month, the key committees in Congress are set to consider the Farm Bill. Traditionally, that bill has been a vehicle for animal welfare bills, such as the FIGHT Act. The last upgrade of our national animal fighting law was included as an amendment to the Farm Bill in 2018. So in the state legislature, we're not aware yet of any anti-animal fighting legislation. But South Carolina does forbid both dogfighting and cockfighting, and it's a felony offense on both counts, Pacelle said. In 2022, more than 20 people were arrested after 305 dogs were rescued in what officials believe to be the largest dogfighting operation in South Carolina history. 23 search warrants were also executed at various residences. Out of the 305 dogs that were rescued, 275 were believed to be associated with dogfighting. Officers seized nearly 30 firearms, $40,000 in cash, and various pieces of evidence related to dogfighting. In 2023, SLED launched a dogfighting unit, and since then, 500 dogs have been rescued, and more than 100 people have been arrested. In April of 2025, a dogfighting operation in Dillon and Marion counties left 11 men arrested, along with the seizure of dogs, drugs, firearms, and cash. According to a release from SLED, 160 dogs were rescued in the dogfighting bust. In the same month, South Carolina Governor Henry McMaster and South Carolina Law Enforcement Division Chief Mark Keel called attention to the widespread issue of dogfighting in the state. However, dogfighting isn't the only issue being tackled in the FIGHT Act. Right now, cockfighters are breaking the law by smuggling birds through the U.S. Postal Service. They are shipping tens of thousands of fighting roosters in boxes between states, sending them as far away as Guam, which is a U.S. territory in the Western Pacific, and the U.S. Postal Service has not made a single case since this law was adopted in 2007. It's just not being enforced. So the FIGHT Act forbids shipping adult roosters by U.S. mail. Fortunately, USPS does not allow shipping dogs by mail, so the dogfighters can't use that transport means, but the cockfighters are, Pacelle said. You may be wondering if there's anything you can do to take action against animal fighting, and there is. Pacelle said it's important to contact U.S. senators and representatives on the FIGHT Act, urging them to co-sponsor and support it. As of now, Representative Nancy Mace is the lone South Carolina federal lawmaker to co-sponsor the FIGHT Act. A BC-15 reached out to Mace's secretary for comment. They told us that if elected governor, Mace plans to put an animal abuse registry into place.
Good evening and thanks for joining us. Some lawmakers and animal advocates are now pushing for stricter punishments around dogfighting, not only across the nation, but here in South Carolina. Dogfighting cases often involve other serious crimes, leading parties on both sides of the aisle to crack down on the issue. ABC 15's Caitlin Richards joins us live in studio after speaking with the president of Animal Wellness Action. So, Caitlin, what efforts is the group advocating for now?
Well, the FIGHT Act is now waiting for action after it was introduced in Congress in early 2025. It would strengthen existing national law to crack down on what the president of Animal Wellness Action calls barbaric activities. Now, a warning, video in this story may be hard to watch.
We can all agree in a civilized society that we should not tolerate this in any manner.
Lateral abrasion.
Dogfighting is an issue the Palmetto State has been dealing with for years. Animal Wellness Action and the Center for a Humane Economy applauded South Carolina law enforcement officers for arresting a Chester County man in an organized dogfighting ring on January 9th. Animal Wellness Action and the Center for a Humane Economy applauded South Carolina law enforcement officers for arresting a Chester County man in an organized dogfighting ring on January 9th.
It's so clear to me that animal fighting is bound up with other crimes. And if we don't arrest them when they're engaging in malicious animal cruelty, we're going to see their crimes spill over into our communities.
Wayne Pacelli is the president of Animal Wellness Action, which is a national anti-cruelty organization working to pass laws to forbid mistreatment of animals and to make sure the laws on the books are enforced. He says the FIGHT Act has bipartisan support, and next month, the key committees in Congress are set to consider the Farm Bill, which traditionally has been a vehicle for animal welfare bills such as the FIGHT Act.
The last upgrade of our national animal fighting law was included as an amendment to the Farm Bill in 2018. So in the state legislature, we're not aware yet of any anti-animal fighting legislation, but South Carolina does forbid both dog fighting and cockfighting, and it's a felony offense on both counts.
In 2022, more than 20 people were arrested after 305 dogs were rescued in what officials believe to be the largest dogfighting operation in South Carolina history.
Like I say, man, y'all don't forget to tune in tomorrow night, 8 p.m. live, open panel. I'm going to drop the link if anybody want to come up and give your story or ask a question or have a question about a dog or any type of, you're trying to figure out some things. Maybe you're trying to figure out the best feed, or maybe you're trying to figure out the best workout program, or maybe you're trying to figure out anything when it comes to these dogs. That's what the link is being dropped down in the chat for all the time. Come up and ask your logical questions. Leave the BS at home. It's your boy Pelican Bay K9s giving it to you. Y'all stay safe. Y'all have a productive Friday. Stay warm out there. And holler at me tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Eastern.